Tyco, the Minutemen American Revolution Bicentennial Boxcar, issued approximately 1973. This car is rare and highly sought after, as this graphic was used very shortly. Tyco was sued by the original owner of this graphic for a trademark violation. I don't know the name of that company, but these cars are very rare and hard to come by. One thing about these first run cars, they all have data and reporting marks on them. This is another image that was used very shortly, as some of the people complained to Tyco that it had an inappropriate image on it. I won't point it out directly, but if you look closely, you may figure out what I'm talking about. This image also appears on some 74 and 75 issues, which will be shown also before it is changed. I'll show those variations as well. This is the undercarriage, which is the same on all the variations issued. Another note about the first run box cars: on this run here, there are no stripes. And what I mean by that, vertical stripes appearing on the cars you'll see in the later runs coming up in the video. Alright, here's the Washington's Crossing in the same set. Notice the graphics on it also. This was used very shortly. However, the color of the car remains the same throughout the end of the production in '76. There's the graphics on this car. It's supposed to represent Washington Crossing, Delaware. Next up is Paul Revere's. This is the first issue and only issue in this solid color with the same graphic as the first two. Again, used very shortly. And this car was totally changed on the next run, which I'll show that coming up. And there's a picture of his silhouette. Another highly sought after collectible, by the way. Here are all three. You could have got as a set or separately at the time. This would be the second release of the Tyco Spirit of '76 with the color changes. All three cars. We'll cover these real quick too. Starting in order with stock number 362-A, the Minutemen. The roof blue color is still the same, but the sides got a whole new tampo with graphics. The data remains on the car, as do the open steps. Very important note there on the steps. Spirit of '76, now you have the long stripe. There's a short stripe version also. I'll show those later. Washington's Crossing here. Keeps the data on the car. Open steps also. Spirit of '76 long striped. Also, if you'll note again on this, the Washington's graphic has the American flag on it. Here's Paul Revere's boxcar. You notice he has a red cape now, whereas the first silhouette was a solid color issue. Long striped also. Keeps the open steps. It also has the data on the side. This is variation 3 of the set in series. We'll begin with the Minutemen on this set too. Keep it in order. 362A. This car retains the open step, but if you notice, the car data is not applied on this series here. It does have the long stripes. Here's Washington's Crossing car. Also retains the open stirrup. Long graphics. Also a little bit darker final in the '76 there, if you'll notice, over the first car. Right here. Spirit of '76 a little bit thinner. This one's just a little bit thicker on the stamp there. Paul Revere's car, pretty much the same. The data's left off. Has the red cape still, open stirrups, long stripe version. Here are the 1976 year release cars. These are the short stripe version. And these are Tyco. They have a shiny paint to them. All my other cars I've shown have had a flat finish to them. That would have been prior to '76 if you have a flat finish car. These are mint condition that you're seeing here. This is the top of the Minutemen car. As you can see the shine on the paint. This is a Tyco release, 1976 again. The sides of the car, redone graphic. We'll do a comparison of all the cars through the years in just a little bit here. You notice also the font has changed for the Spirit of 76. The short stripes are now on the car, and the stirrups are now closed instead of open. This is an important identifying mark if you're collecting these cars. Also, the GATX font is thinner on this car over the other issues. Washington Crossings roof, you see all the red shiny paint there. So again, these cars are mint. There's the graphic with the American flag. Spirit of 76, you notice the font's still the same. Paul Revere's car, same as the first two. These cars have no data also on none of them. Now for the comparison on the Paul Revere cars, beginning with the first issue to the last issue. Short stripe and long stripe. Open step, closed step. A note on the short stripe one at the bottom here, there could be a long stripe closed set, and on the long stripe open step there could be a short stripe open set. I just don't have them with Tyco. It's hard to tell. They never cataloged their stuff accordingly back then. So it could be out there, I'm just not aware of it. These are the variations I do know though. Here's the Washington Crossings cars for comparison. Notice how the graphics changed too. Here are the Minutemen cars from beginning to the last release. Notice how the graphics change on the last car from the first three. If you would have bought the first set back in the time frame these were issued, this is how the first set would have came out. This is what a second release box set of 3 would have looked like. And on the box sets there's a lot of variations I don't have or am aware of, but there were some. The bad thing again with Tyco, they didn't catalog everything they put together. They threw sets together back then. So you could have gotten some of the older graphics in with some of these cars here, as the release on the time frame was pretty close. Here's a set of 3 I purchased together. This was the last set issued by Tyco. They're the closed steps short stripe cars, as again they may be a long stripe version out there I'm not aware of, but these are the graphics, and you can tell they've changed a lot since the first run. These are the end flap on the boxes for the Tyco boxcars 362A, B, and C. It's pretty much standard issue on most of the boxes except for the first set where the number goes to 362-A250 and B250 and C250. That's for the rare graphic cars. Just for comparison on the boxes, see the numbers are the same on the two, but however the backs do vary. The sides are pretty much the same on the locomotives available during the time. This side here does vary in one graphic, as you've got the Super 630 and underneath you have the Dixie Bell. There's your pictures on the top of the 1973 to 74, possibly early 75. 75 and on, Tyco just used illustrated drawings. Here's another set of my cars with the data on them, and you could have got a mix and match set like this with the graphic variations on the back of the packaging, as this set does have the variation of the Tyco drawings and the other two have the color pictures on them. From top to bottom, as you can see, this set was mixed match back then, as your set could have been. The variations do vary. Another note I want to add about these cars, there were some that had the wrong number stamped on them and released. I don't have any, but if you go to the Tyco Collectors Forum, someone has posted a picture on there of one. I believe it's on the Minutemen cars, they're wrong numbered. Thank you for watching the Spirit of 76 variation identification video. Happy collecting.